From 4 teams down to 2, the NFL season is almost to a close. We are very sad about it. But this is episode 245 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Coming up, we talk the latest in the NFL coaching carousel world and some Hall of Fame news regarding Bill Belichick. Plus, we'll get into the AFC and NFC Championship games and give you a preview, a teaser of what is to come on the Super Bowl pregame show. That all comes your way next, episode 245 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is episode 245 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Josh Kirby, and so glad that you are with us. Thank you so much for spending time out of your day to be with us. A huge thanks to all of our sponsors. Our title sponsor, Frederick County Parks and Recreation, PM Plus Reserve, Shenandoah Primitives, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, Bear Pest and Termite Services, Mark Lynch with Guild Mortgage, Shenandoah Music, Icon Media, On the Road Driving School, New Look Landscaping, Barry Pearson with Equipment Share Advanced Solutions, and Don't Sleep Energy, the official energy drink sponsor of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Use promo code KOS Podcast for 12% off your order every single time. Let's get right into it. He was off last week. He is back this week. The weapon, Dan Dembski. What is up, buddy?
What's going on, man? I am thawing out here as we speak. I'm finally getting warm here.
It's cold, man. It's too cold.
It's brutal, man. The snow, the ice. It's too
cold.
It's nuts. It's totally nuts, man.
Yeah.
But we had some good football, so.
Absolutely. We'll get into that soon. But now let's welcome in Carlos, the Swiss Army knife, Martinez. Carlos, it's so great to see you, buddy.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
No, he's upset, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to miss you, Betty. I'm going to miss you real much. 1,075 days.
But who's counting?
Gone. Hi, boys.
That was perfect.
Yes. Well, we're sorry, Carlos, but it's great to see you. How you holding up, Carlos? You staying warm?
Not great. It's a cold world out there, and it's a cold reality with the pick'ems.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pick'ems,
don't I know?
Not looking the best, so, what can we say?
I mean, it's not looking the worst either. I mean, I'm not Dan. I've never finished in last, but your boy his title reign has ended. We have met the Cody Rhodes to my Roman Reigns, and it wasn't any of you two stooges.
Yep.
It was somebody I had to bring from the freaking outside as Chief makes his first appearance on the pod.
Yeah, we certainly did miss you last week, Dan. Certainly missed you. It wasn't the same without you.
Yeah. Sorry I couldn't be on, but I'm glad to be back, boys.
What am I looking at here?
What?
Nothing. I guess you're gonna pull something up later.
Probably. Who knows?
Okay. Oh, you know what? I know exactly what he's doing. Never mind.
Just wait and see.
I'm sorry,
Stick
Dan.
with me. Stick with me.
You're sorry?
I'm sorry, Dan.
Oh, no.
Oh my God, no shot. Oh, no shot, dude. Come on. I made promises.
Hey,
Just know Dan, what's gonna happen? I had nothing to do with.
I won't forget this, Kirby.
I
I will not forget
nothing
this.
to do with this.
well, let's get on with the show. Why don't
Stay
we?
tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, stay tuned. This could be a very exciting episode. But what we're going to start off the show, we're going to get you some updated information on the coaching carousel and some Hall of Fame news as well. With Dan in the room in the podcast, there's some news coming out last week. The Ravens have named Jesse Minter head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, replacing John Harbaugh after 18 seasons at the helm as Baltimore Ravens head coach. As a note, Jesse Minter comes from a Jim Harbaugh-led Los Angeles Chargers team to come in and replace Jim's brother, John. Dan, I'll start with you on the top. Jesse Minter, a younger hire. How do you like this move?
I like it. I think the defense has a lot more issues right now than the offense. They need to be pretty much completely rebuilt. And so I think this makes the most sense. The hire to me that makes more of an impact, obviously with the offense, is going to be the OC. Who do they hire as the OC? So that's obviously what we're waiting to find out. But I do like the move. I just think this offseason was particularly tough. There didn't seem to be a perfect fit really for the Ravens, I felt personally. There were guys that I liked certainly more than others. I think Brian Flores certainly to me stood out, but there was other guys as well. But Jesse Minter was for me a little bit off my radar. Obviously for people who are Chargers fans, they know who he is very well and they think highly of him. So I think it's a good move. I think the Ravens made the right decision. This is just a weird offseason with so many openings, and there's really not that number one, favorite guy. Quite frankly, I thought, I know Sean McDermott got into the game a little late as far as he was fired, obviously after the Bills playoff loss in the divisional round. But I mean, my thought was maybe they'd not hire him, but at least bring him in for an interview. Obviously, they didn't get a chance to do that, but I felt like he would have been a pretty good fit, to be honest. But I'm kind of glad they went a different direction than most teams would. The Ravens know what they're doing. They're a good organization. They're a well-run team, and they've done their research. Now this could all go wrong. Obviously, there's no question about it. But you can't predict these types of things. But overall, I like it. I think it's a pretty good move. And again, I'm not mad about it. I think our defense has a lot of holes that need to be addressed. So hopefully, with Jesse Minter in charge, they can be more quickly answered and more quickly, thought through. So,
My go.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I mean, it's okay. It's not the sexiest hire. It's kind of an expected hire, I suppose. You figured they were probably going to go defensive coach, considering how bad the defense played. I guess it's mostly going to come up to who he brings in as his offensive coordinator, and obviously, I mean, Dan, you commented on it a little bit on Facebook today. Mike Florio saying that Lamar's is he even going to be on the Ravens? I feel like anybody trying to push that narrative is absolutely stupid. Like, why would Lamar leave? Like, they do understand how the contract works, right? Like,
yeah, it's absurd.
I don't think the hire that means anything against Lamar or whether he stays or not. That's more so on the need on the defensive side. Again, it's going to depend ultimately on who's going to be the OC. They have to bring in an OC who's going to get the most out of Lamar, who's going to get the most out of the weapons, the multiple weapons that this team has. And that's it, And I mean, ultimately, there was 10 openings, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 have been filled. There's only 3 left, which is now the Raiders, the Browns, and the Cardinals. Of course, we got breaking news from Josh Kirby before the show started that Ron Rivera has interviewed for the Cardinals job, which means we are scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point on coaching. But a lot of these teams, the remaining openings just aren't very attractive openings for kind of the top echelon, candidates that are out there.
Yeah, totally.
And they're not the only ones having trouble. I mean, Philly's having trouble finding a freaking offensive coordinator. So like, there's still a lot of movement to be had. Obviously, some other notable hires that happened, which I'm sure we're going to talk about. Robert Saleh got brought on as the Titans head coach. That one was surprising. I thought that was Nagy's job for sure. Mike McCarthy brought in Pittsburgh. That one made a lot of sense to me, in all honesty.
Yeah, when you think about Pittsburgh, yeah.
He's a Pittsburgh guy. Also, he's a great program builder. It's just, and he wins games in the regular season. He just never wins in the playoffs, really.
So he's just like Mike Tomlin.
Exactly. But at least, but like the offensive version of Mike Tomlin.
Yeah. Totally.
And then, of course, the news today, Joe Brady's being promoted from offensive coordinator to head coach for the Buffalo Bills, which truly makes no sense given what they were asking for in the press conference, saying they wanted a CEO type head coach, which then you promote Joe Brady. I think what happened was they probably wanted Kubiak, but Seattle make it into the Super Bowl. They were like, look, this is going to take too long to wait for him.
They couldn't wait. Yeah.
We have this guy in house who, was the offensive coordinator for Josh Allen's MVP year. Josh Allen likes him. I'm guessing it was between him and Daboll. And of course, Brian Daboll was waiting to see what happened there. And if he didn't get the job in Buffalo, then he was going to take the job in Tennessee, which he ultimately did as the offensive coordinator. Yeah, I mean, look, I think that hire for Joe Brady, I don't necessarily like it. I don't think it's the right move. I mean, their whole issue was the constant playoff disappointments, and of course, the lasting impact of 13 seconds. Which, by the way, I didn't realize that my little sister didn't know what 13 seconds was, so I got to show her what 13 seconds was. And then I also showed her our reactions to 13 seconds since we did a live stream for that game. One of the best live streams we ever did. Yeah. And she was locked in. But yeah, it looks like the lasting impact that 13 seconds had on that franchise
kind of broke them.
Why they wanted to move
kind of broke them.
What was that?
It kind of broke them in a way, in a strange way.
In a strange way, but it's like at the same time, like, then the next year they lose to Cincinnati. Mm-hmm. Then they lose to Kansas City again, and then of course they lost to Denver. It's like they have had 3 playoffs since 13 seconds.
Yeah.
So like I don't necessarily see how 13 seconds is still like impacting the franchise at all. Like we've moved on from 13 seconds. Kansas City has, but anyways.
Oh, Buffalo is a long cursed franchise.
I mean, this is true. Hopefully now that they're moving across the parking lot into the new stadium and off the Indian burial ground, maybe the curse will be lifted finally. But to me, it's just, I don't like the move. Like, I just don't. I think they should have just stuck with McDermott at this point because in all honesty, he was the best candidate anyways. Out of all the candidates that would have been available, I would have just stuck with McDermott. I understand that maybe they were afraid of losing Joe Brady because he was getting some looks as a head coach, but I don't know. I feel like you could have replaced him pretty easily. There's plenty of offensive minds out there. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think about the Joe Brady hire?
Yeah, it doesn't really make a ton of sense to me either. Maybe a combination of them getting into the head coaching search a little later than teams, even though, again, like, as we talked about, was there 2 hirings at that point by the time the Bills had moved on from McDermott? Probably, maybe only 1, right? I can't.
I think it was. Harbaugh had just accepted the Giants job. Stefanski had just accepted the Falcons job.
Right. So I think just 2 then at that time.
I think that's it.
Maybe they felt like they were getting into it late, even though there was obviously, like you said, still a ton of candidates out there. But yeah, I don't really get it myself. This whole thing, I think, is going to blow up in their face, quite frankly. That's just kind of how I feel.
It's a risky decision.
Ownership in the GM, I think the GM is not great. I think Buffalo fans would agree with that. They have not constructed the roster well in a lot of cases. And again, another decision where you're just kind of left scratching your head, like, what are they doing? Now, we all know Buffalo's going to have success in the regular season. There's no question about that. But it always comes back to...
I mean, Josh Allen gives you a solid floor for sure.
Right.
But they're going to have a really tough schedule next year. Here,
yeah.
Let me pull up who their potential opponents are going to be.
Yeah. So I mean, Carlos made the exact point, right? Like you have to stick with McDermott. I get ownership and the general manager's frustration with the direction things are going. So I think at that point, like, you just have a real discussion with your head coach and say, listen, if things don't trend in the right direction next year, if we don't put together some playoff wins and make a run, then, I guess an ultimatum in a way, but that's more acceptable. And I think kind of just moving on from the guy who got you into those situations. So
okay,
it was silly.
Real quick. So here are their opponents for next year.
Okay.
And remember, they're opening a new stadium next year. Or this year, I guess you could say, next season. So they're going to have the usual suspects: Dolphins, Patriots, Jets at home, and then the away series with them. They have Kansas City at home. So these are their home opponents: Kansas City, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Chicago Bears, the Detroit Lions, and the Baltimore Ravens. God, that is killer's row. Their away games will be Dolphins, Patriots, Jets. They got to go back to Denver. Oh my God. They got to go back to Denver. They got to go to Green Bay. They got to play Vegas in Vegas. I don't think that'll be much of a challenge. They got to play Minnesota in Minnesota. They got to play Houston in Houston, and they got to play Los Angeles. They got to play the Rams in Los Angeles.
That is.
They have a killer schedule next year.
That's one of the toughest. Got to be one of the toughest schedules in the NFL. Yeah. So you're asking a new head coach to walk into that and to be able to plan for all those games. It's not.
And with
easy.
what weapons is Josh Allen going to have to work with? I mean, they still don't necessarily have a great and reliable number one. You have James Cook and a solid offensive line, but again, who is Josh going to throw to? He's got the two tight ends, Kincaid and Knox. Correct?
Yeah, those are his best receivers.
Those are his best receivers. I mean, Shakir is okay. Like he's a solid player.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
But he's got no like big name target to throw to. So it's like, and then the defense is like the way that defense is built. It's built for Sean McDermott's defensive scheme.
Right.
So there's going to be a lot of guys that they're going to have to cut because they're not going to probably fit into the new defensive coordinator scheme. And it's like, and they're already in cap hell essentially because of the horrible deals that that the GM had made. I mean, God, cutting Stephon Diggs before the extension even hit was crazy work.
That's a great point. I'd forgotten about that. But yeah, you're asking a head coach to come into a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed. And it's an ownership does not seem like they're very patient. So I'm just saying. Well, the owner's kind
of a stooge. I mean, the thing is it doesn't seem like he was what's his name? What's the owner's name?
Hold on.
He owns the Buffalo Sabres.
It's escaping my name.
It's escaping me too. It's some Italian name, I feel like, in my head.
Oh, Terry Pagula, of course.
Yeah. Pagula. Yeah.
Pagula.
Yeah. So it seems like his wife was more so the one running the day-to-day operations of the Buffalo Bills. And unfortunately, she has passed. So I think he's kind of having a hard time, kind of running the show and, in the Bills organization. So I don't know. I think that's why he kept the GM, because he was like, look, I can't be bothered looking for a new GM too, and then the GM having to find a coach and all that stuff. So I think that's why he kept the GM. But still, I just think the Buffalo, they're in danger right now. They're
in trouble. Yeah.
I mean, I've been listening to a lot of Bills like podcasts, to kind of get a feel of how they're feeling, just trying to see how my enemy is feeling. I kind of, enjoy their tears. And them coming to the realization that they were just never on the Chiefs level. But long story short,
accurate.
They're feeling like these moves are feeling like during the playoff drought era when they couldn't make the playoffs ever. Yep. And that's how these moves are starting to feel. All the drama with the owner and the GM doing the press conference and
that was
singling out Keon Coleman for some, even though I understand Keon Coleman has been an absolute bust so far. Still,
but you don't do that.
Stopping the press conference to specifically talk about that was crazy work.
I don't think I've ever heard a press conference quite like that one that I can recall. With ownership.
It was crazy. I mean, Jerry's had some wild ones, but
he does it every
that's
week.
Jerry Jones. He's old and senile.
Yeah. But he says stuff every week, and you're like, all right, it's just Jerry Jones being Jerry Jones.
Still believes that the Cowboys are like one move away from the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Robert Kraft, who is
oh my God, this is even more detrimental to the Cowboys. We're on Cowboys talk now.
Who he wishes he was is in another.
But the fact that that Robert Kraft is already back in the Super Bowl after having his dynasty, and Jerry Jones hasn't even been back to the NFC Championship in 30 plus years. It couldn't have happened to a better guy.
It wakes him up every night.
What an absolute stooge.
So, if you will, providing my thoughts on Joe Brady, I would hope you all would agree that it might be a little bit of a positive that they're hiring in-house with the person who's familiar with this system.
No. Because at the end of the day, it was this system that failed. This is the system that has failed them the past few seasons.
Yep.
So it's like you fire McDermott because of the fact that these systems failed. And granted, sure, you can sit here and be like, okay, 13 seconds happened because the defense couldn't stop him. Who was in charge of the defense? Sean McDermott. Cincinnati happens because the defense couldn't make a stop, but there was also a snow game and Josh Allen played terrible. Okay. Yeah. But then you can make the case the last two. So you can make the case of, okay, it wasn't the offense's fault. But you can't do that with these last two playoffs when Josh Allen had the ball in his hand to win the game against Kansas City and Denver, and he couldn't do it.
Yep.
So to me, it's like I see what you're saying, Kirby, about like, the continuity of it, right? Josh Allen's not going to have to learn a new offense and everything. But when the reasoning was to fire McDermott was because he couldn't get it done, and it was because of coaching and everything and the decisions he made. Well, Joe Brady was the offensive coordinator for all that time too.
He was
and couldn't get it done offensively. So, go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying that's probably the only slight positive you can take out of this.
I think
what you all are saying, I agree with too.
Let me reframe it for you real quick. I think the positive is that Joe Brady has a great relationship with Josh Allen.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the positive, I think, is how we should reframe this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. But I mean, you both hit the nail on the head on how ways this can go wrong. And we'll just have to see how this plays out. But just looking, it seems like this could be a train wreck pretty easy. So, if you will, just really quick, giving my thoughts on Jesse Minter to the Ravens. As you said, Carlos, not the sexiest hire, but I like the fact that the Ravens hired a younger coach instead of an older mind in the game, if you will, because a younger coach, he can implement sort of what he wants to do. And if he's successful with it, it could lead to long-term success but you really don't see it nowadays with keeping head coaches at the same team for a long period of time.
No,
But I
it's
think,
rare.
that's just my thought process on this Ravens hire. And again, you hit the nail on the head too with Minter. It depends on the people he brings in to see how successful this Ravens team will do.
And I think too, you mentioned the young part of that. I think relating to the younger players, especially, I guess Lamar Jackson's not really considered young anymore by NFL standards.
Yeah, he's still a young man, but
Yeah, he's still. I mean, he's my age, so I try not to age myself out too much. But I think that makes a difference too, like relating to the younger players or the Ravens do have a lot of younger players, especially on defense, which I think could be, a nice way to sort of mentor. That was stupid. The players, especially the younger players who are going to need some more coaching, especially what we saw from the defense, which was the case, especially against Pittsburgh at the end there. So anyway, I've mumbled on. I will throw it back to you, Kirby.
So, yeah, that's sort of the coaching carousel news. I think the other big news that we have to touch on most recently is the fact that Bill Belichick comes out not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Stupid. Absolutely stupid. Who are the 10 people who voted against this? And then the fact that it literally just came out maybe an hour ago that their reasoning for saying no was because of Spygate and Deflategate. What are we freaking doing here? Okay, sure, I understand, but those controversies were honestly not as big of a deal. Nobody really thinks about those when they think of the Patriots dynasty at all. So you're really telling me that the guy who won 6 Super Bowls, went to, how many did they go to? 8? 8 Super Bowls, is regarded as the greatest coach of all time, is not worthy of being a first ballot Hall of Famer. But then you got, oh my God, who did I see that made it? You got, look, I love Jamal Charles, obviously Chiefs legend, but Jamal Charles didn't win a damn thing in the NFL. He just has a bunch of records, and he's going into the Hall of Fame? Get out of here with this nonsense, man. This has to be a joke. Bill Belichick should have been an automatic, should have automatically got in as soon as he was eligible. It'll be the same thing with Tom Brady when he's eligible. That was one of the greatest dynasties we have ever seen. The longest stretch of sustained success that we had ever seen in modern NFL. I mean, it was basically 2 different dynasties with a dynasty in the middle that they just didn't win Super Bowls during that, but they were still in the picture constantly and still the gold standard in the NFL. It's insane to me that 10 people said no, and that's why he couldn't get in, all because of 2 controversies that, Deflategate was the dumbest thing ever. Still don't it's still up in the air whether it was true or not. Spygate, okay, sure, I guess, whatever, but I don't know. I think it's stupid that he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. And given his reaction as to, what people are reporting his reaction to the news was, yeah, it's surprising that he's not going to be in the Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of how he said it, but what else do you have to do? I won all these Super Bowls. I had all this sustained success for 20 years. What else does a coach have to do, or a player, to get into the, Hall of Fame as a first ballot Hall of Famer? Yeah, it's ridiculous. I agree. And the thing with Deflategate that, I hate to go back to that, but it's that game was not close, right?
That's what I'm saying. It was
close. It was like a 4 touchdown win for New England. You can't tell me that deflating the football a little bit had anything to do with that score being so lopsided. And Spygate, I think, was one of those situations where, okay, it was definitely wrong, but I think other teams were doing it, but because it was Bill Belichick and the Patriots, the NFL was kind of, always keeping a special, eye and special attention on them. They got caught doing it. So, yeah, it's totally absurd for me when you think of, Carlos pretty much covered it all. What else does the guy have to do? He, maybe, and I know they're not going to come out and say this, but maybe given recent events and how his tenure in the NFL ended, Maybe his relationship with Robert Kraft had something to do with that. I don't know. I don't know if these people were friends with Robert Kraft who voted no, and maybe they just have a sour opinion of Bill Belichick as a person. I don't know. I don't know if they have some vendetta against him or what, but it's
like
just
I
absurd to me.
get I get what you're saying, Dan, about like the Robert Kraft of it all, because I understand that Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick don't necessarily have a great relationship anymore. But
they're not
I don't think Robert Kraft was sabotaged just given the amount of success.
No.
He brought him.
That's not. No, I don't. I don't think that's the case. But maybe the voters, I don't know. Maybe they just have that in the back of their head, like he's kind of alienated his relationships in the NFL. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here of what could be the reasons outside of, those two scandals, which it's kind of funny what we call scandals nowadays compared to what they used to be. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, I'm just spitballing. Maybe they just think they think of it that way. Maybe it's his relationship with the NFL and how he kind of burned the bridge, if you will, to the National Football League. I don't think he ever did necessarily, but I know people have that opinion. Because I think there hasn't been a better ambassador to the National Football League as far as former coaches than Bill Belichick. I mean, he loves NFL history. He talks about it all the time. He's one of the smartest guys when you start rolling the tape on not only Patriots moments, but just NFL moments in general. So I think there hasn't been a better ambassador to the game of football in the NFL than Bill Belichick as far as coaches are concerned. So,
especially
the whole thing is, yeah. Oh yeah, he loves special teams. He loves long snappers. Yeah, he loves those types of questions. But yeah, it's frankly a clown show. Like what are we doing?
Does this announcement that he is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, does this bring up the storyline on what's the word I'm looking for? It literally just slipped my mind. It's do we even take?
Oh my god! Oh my. Okay, hold on. Let me just cut in here really quick.
Okay.
According to the report, the Spygate and Deflategate scandals played a role among voters, with former Buffalo Bills and Indianapolis Colts general manager Bill Polian suggesting to some of his fellow voters that Belichick should have to wait a year to be enshrined as a type of punishment. That is absolutely asinine. You are punishing a man who's already been punished. He had to pay a fine. He had to deal with the suspension of Tom Brady for those first 4 games. I'm sorry. This is dumb. Why are we punishing him for something that he's already been punished for?
Why is the guy who vehemently said that Lamar Jackson should be a running back or a receiver when he's drafted into the NFL have an opinion in the Hall of Fame voting? I'm just saying.
It's
like
just
this guy has just this. This guy just doesn't get it.
I just read some of the player reactions, from former Patriot player reactions to this, and literally, who was it that said it? One of the players said, if somebody needs to show me what a first ballot Hall of Fame head coach looks like, because if it's not Bill, then what is it? Because It's true.
What's the criteria?
This is it, and I can't believe it. I can't believe, the Patriots for the longest time were the evil empire. They were the empire from Star Wars. He was Palpatine. Tom Brady was Darth Vader. Okay, bro, you can't sit here and tell me that I now have to defend this man who brought us nothing but anger at how successful they were. And the fact that he just, no matter what, they just wouldn't die, until finally they did. But bro, you can't sit here and tell me he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. It just makes no sense.
And that's why Bill Polian has a grudge against him, because he was the Colts GM at the time throughout most of those
He was the Colts GM during the peak of Brady versus Manning.
Right, exactly. That's absurd.
With this, are people going to start questioning the Hall of Fame in general? Are we going to continue to say, is the Hall of Fame even serious at this point? Or if you will, I'm trying to think of the right wording here. But when it comes to the Hall of Fame, are we even taking them seriously after something like this?
Not right now. Not until, I think Maybe something they should do is hold a press conference and have them explain why the ones who voted no anyway. And maybe that's a little extreme and a little much. But I listen. It's like, what's the criteria? Like that player said, like, if Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, what the hell else do you have to do? Like, there's just
no shot.
There's no excuse. There's no excuse behind it.
No shot.
No excuse.
Patriots owner Robert Kraft, whom Belichick coached under and clashed with repeatedly, is a finalist for the first time in the contributor category for the Hall of Fame class.
Oh my
Maybe
god,
that has something to do with it.
I'm not. I at this point, I wouldn't take the Hall of Fame seriously.
No, it's a joke.
Way. There's just no way. I'm having a like. There's just no way that Kraft had. There's no way Kraft had something to do with this.
No.
See, this isn't the only thing we're starting not to take seriously at this point. It's ridiculous.
Was there another thing that we're not taking seriously? I was waiting for you to bring up the
yeah.
other thing. I don't know what else.
Pro Bowl and Shadur Sanders.
Oh my God, you're right. Yes, the fact that Shadur Sanders is somehow a Pro Bowler.
I mean,
that was like when Tyler Huntley made the Pro Bowl
anymore, but
yeah, that's an example I've heard a lot today about that. It's the time Tyler Huntley made a Pro Bowl, dude. The Pro Bowl is a joke. Just
nobody watches it.
And nobody watches. Nobody
just
cares anymore. It's not what it used to be when they used to play it down in Hawaii. Like, honestly, I like Nick Wright's idea that he presented today, where it should just be the initial roster. You just announce the roster. That's it. These are your Pro Bowlers. But there is no game because it's not even a Pro Bowl game anymore.
And it's just a weekend for ESPN. And I mean, I like ESPN, but they are a cash cow. They will do anything. They're money whores. They will do anything for money. And they'll televise that stuff all weekend, the Pro Bowl Skills Challenge. Who cares about the Pro Bowl Skills Challenge? I don't want to see guys throw at a target and run between cones.
Dodgeball. Like,
it's the same week as the Super Bowl now, too.
Yeah,
it is. They moved it to the same week as the Super Bowl at the same location.
I'll have to check on that. I'm not sure about that.
Is this true?
I'm
double checking. Let me double check him.
You know, I'd love to dunk on him, but I'm not going to.
This is news to me if it is.
Well,
but yeah,
I'm looking into it too.
Hold on, I'm looking into it. Give me a second.
Just get rid of it. Like, what are even the numbers? Who's even watching that whole weekend of stuff?
I mean, I used to watch it back when it was like actually like a Pro Bowl game.
Oh, like 10 years ago. Same here. Like, it used to be fun.
Flag football game Tuesday, February 3rd. If I'm correct, the Super Bowl is that weekend.
Why are they playing it? But they're playing it at the. I guess they're playing it inside of an arena. Where the hell is that?
The Sportsplex. Yeah, who knows?
But that's the week of the Super Bowl. Am I not wrong?
I mean, you're not wrong, but you're also. What is this? Is this?
Yes, that is the week of the Super Bowl. You're correct.
This isn't where No, that's Chase Bank Arena. Where are they playing this?
I'm sure that's going to get a lot of high ratings on a Tuesday night.
Moscone Center.
The crazy thing is, since it is the
Howard
NFL, they
Street
probably
in
will
San Francisco.
Interesting.
They're playing in the street.
The NFL announced plans to. Okay. So yeah, you're right. In October 2025. So that's why I missed it because I wasn't paying attention. The NFL announced plans to integrate the Pro Bowl games into the Super Bowl festivities rather than continue to hold it as a standalone event. It will be designed as a more intimate television-oriented event held inside a 4,000-seat ballroom at the Moscone Center in San Francisco, the site of the season's Super Bowl experience. So basically, what's it called? An expo center.
Yeah, it's basically
And get this,
convention center.
For what it's worth, it's an hour 21 minutes to Levi Stadium.
I mean, yeah, because it's actually in San Francisco. You know, the Levi Stadium's in Santa Clara. Like, it's not close. Everybody knows this.
Well, I mean, can we take it? Can we take anything seriously anymore?
I mean, nobody's taking the Pro Bowl seriously since Sean Taylor stopped being in the, RIP, in the
20 years
Pro Bowl.
ago. Yeah, 20 years ago.
Brother actually took that seriously. But once he stopped, once, he passed and, then, players were just got, and then once they took it away from Hawaii.
It got softer and softer. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then once they took it away from Hawaii, then all the big name players were like, we were just going because it was a free vacation.
Yeah, that killed it. Yeah, having it in Hawaii, I think definitely helped with generating interest.
It was always weird when it was after the Super Bowl, though.
Yeah, because you would forget it was on and be like, oh, that's on. Shoot.
Oh, no, it was always like, oh, yes, we have one more week of football. But it was like, yeah, but we already had the climax.
Exactly. Yeah, we've already
the season should end with the Super Bowl, not the Pro Bowl. And we had that empty week between the Super Bowl and the conference championship games. It was like, move it there. Well, now I guess they're going to be playing it on a Tuesday.
It's so weird.
Stupid.
I just don't get it.
Stupid.
All right. Well, that's all we have on that front. I think we touched on it all. So with that, coming up next, we will talk about the AFC Championship game between the Broncos and
Snooze Fest.
And we will be right back.
Create lasting memories at the Someone Special Dance, presented by Finch Oral and Facial Surgery. Join us Saturday, February 7th, 2026, at West Oaks Farm and Market for a magical celebration filled with music, dancing, and smiles. Choose the time that works best for your family, 3 to 5 p.m. or 6 to 8 p.m. If you register before Thursday, January 1st, 2026, you'll save $5 per person. Dress up, hit the dance floor, and make memories your family will treasure for years to come. Register today for the Someone Special Dance, where every moment is worth celebrating.
For sports fans living in condominium and homeowners associations, as well as business professionals, when you need a reserve study, PM Plus Reserves has been in business since 1990. Their studies are accurate and easy to understand. Check them out when your association needs a study. www.pmplusreserves.com. You can also contact them at 703-803-8436. Once again, www.pmplusreserves.com. Is it finally time to upgrade your home's interior? How about with an authentic farm table made locally from recycled barnwood? Shenandoah Primitives, based right here in Winchester, Virginia, makes farm tables, benches, tables, coffee tables, and a long list of other items for your home decorating needs. At Shenandoah Primitives, function and style are combined for great furniture that will last generations. If you're interested in combining the industrial look of metal with wood, or considering something incredibly unique with a live edge, Shenandoah Primitives turns those ideas into reality. Thinking about a mirror, wine rack, or other accent piece for your home, Shenandoah Primitives can assist with that as well. As a local small business, Shenandoah Primitives is happy to work with each client for a custom design or schedule an appointment to come out and view current inventory. Local, high-quality, handmade items can be found at Shenandoah Primitives. Find us on Facebook and Instagram or visit us at www.shenandoahprimitives.com. Once again, that's www.shenandoahprimitives.com. And we are back, episode 245 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. The weapon, Dan Dembski, the Swiss Army knife, Carlos Martinez. I am Josh Kirby, so glad that you are back with us. Time to dive into championship weekend of football. The first game out of two, the New England Patriots over the Denver Broncos, 10-7 in a game that started off sunny, turning to snow.
I wouldn't say it was sunny. It was definitely cloudy when the game started.
Yeah, but there was some sun, but it
no, there wasn't, Kirby. There was no sun in that game. That game was cloudy the whole time.
Regardless, Kirby, just continue.
Well, it turned to snow, and We know how Carlos likes those type of games.
Okay, look, ladies and gentlemen, if you have kids in the car, please cover their ears because I have to describe it this way. I fucking hate snow games. I despise snow games. So, like, I don't mind a snow game where you can still play football in, but a snow game like what we got in Denver or like what we got in, I can't necessarily put the, was it the wild card game or was it divisional? The LA Rams,
that was a wild card
last year.
Wild card
where it did the same thing. First half, it was clear. Second half, a huge snowstorm hit and it like covered the field and made like defense impossible. Right. Like that one was more tolerable because there was still action going. This type of snow game is unbearable where nothing happened. That second half was a wash.
Yeah, it was a waste of time. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think it was certainly sloppy, and neither team could really get a handle at doing anything. It was so ugly. Like neither team could really. It was just a matter of who makes the last mistake, right, or who has the ball last. Or I guess in this case, the Patriots kicking that field goal in the third quarter. That was the last points of the game essentially. So it was a defensive slugfest. But yeah, this game was a snooze. And the weather definitely had a lot to do with it. But I think also from Denver's perspective, like you're asking a quarterback to step in who, I had to look up to see if he existed before this game. I didn't even really recognize his name. So
good old Stidham. I remember Stidham.
Yeah.
I remember him from being the Tom Brady era parent.
Tom Brady's backup. Yeah, he was one of several, but never panned out.
Jimmy G.
Yep.
That was supposed to be Stidham, and then Tom Brady never wanted to die, so
you could go back even further, but that would take too much time. But yeah, I think it was just asking a lot for him to come in and beat the Patriots, whose defense was just great in this game. I think both defenses were pretty solid, but
I agree.
That's all I could really say about this game.
There was so much confidence when the snow hit that Drake May rolled out right and just threw the ball away because the Patriots knew they were going to stop Denver on offense.
Yeah.
That was the confidence going in that really propelled them because they were like, all we have to do is run the ball.
Yes and no, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think during the game, they got the confidence that, hey, Stidham's not going to do anything because he hasn't really done anything all game aside from that second drive of the game where he throws the long pass and they score the touchdown. And then they were driving on that next drive, I think it was, and they get into field goal range. They go for it on fourth down and they don't get it. Points. They leave without any points instead of getting a field goal and going up 10-0. I think this was definitely a case of, man, Sean Payton really had even himself believing that Stidham was the guy. And, people kept bringing up the comparison of Nick Foles and what he did that season to take, the Eagles. It's not the same because Carson Wentz that year, he got hurt in the regular season.
Right.
Like, I think they had like 2 or 3 games left in the regular season. So that gave Nick Foles ample amounts of time to get the feel for the game. Furthermore, Foles had been playing some football prior to that and different stops, in different cities. And he came back to Philly, and he was the backup. And then, the rest is history. He got going. He had the epic Super Bowl performance, yada, yada, yada. That wasn't what we were looking at here. We were looking at a guy who, you guys know, I'm not a Bo Nix guy. I don't like Bo Nix. Okay. I don't think he's all that great. But if you can't beat Bo Nix, then that tells me a lot about who you are as a quarterback. When you haven't thrown a pass since 2023, an official NFL pass, he's obviously played in the preseason and stuff, and I'm sure he's gotten a couple practice reps here and there. But it's a different ball game when you're playing in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, and you're asked to fill those shoes
on your back, and a chance to go to the Super Bowl on the line. That was a lot of pressure for a guy who just was never good enough anywhere. And so I knew from the jump they were done. And don't get me wrong, when he threw that long pass,
it gave me some hope.
It did not give me hope. It gave me some anxiety because I was like, no, like, I got a couple Denver fans in my life. Mainly the sticker picker is a Denver fan, and I didn't want to have to sit there and listen to, oh, look where we are. We're in the Super Bowl. Where's Kansas City? Where are they? Yeah. Get out of my face with that nonsense.
Well, you can certainly brag
I got more
back.
Super Bowls than you could count.
Yeah, you could certainly brag back.
Anyways, but yeah, it was an awful game, and had Stidham not messed up, and still no idea what he was doing there. Like, why even throw it? Just take the sack, kid. Like, what are you doing? And throwing the backwards pass, and then ultimately that's what led to the Patriots touchdown. And then, of course, Denver not going for the field goal, earlier. I mean, that's what it was going to come down to, which quarterback was going to mess up, and it was most likely going to be Stidham, because Stidham just isn't a guy who protects the ball, and we saw that. He tried to press for it at the end of the game, throws it right to Christian Gonzalez. Yeah, this game was terrible offensively, but I will say, man, I think we can all definitively agree, if Bo Nix did play this game, or just a halfway competent quarterback,
Denver wins.
Denver would have won this game.
I agree.
Yeah, Denver wins.
And that's not taking anything away from New England's defense. New England's defense played great. But I got to think Bo Nix would have done something, man. Bo Nix would have done something with his
Drake
legs.
May was not
good. Because that Denver defense was
really
outstanding. Good. They weren't giving New England anything, and the only touchdown New England got was from the turnover, where they get it at like their own 13-yard was on the Denver 13-yard line, and it only took them like 3 plays to get in. And then the start of the second half, where New England was just like, we're just going to run it down your throats, and you got to try to stop us. And eventually Denver did stop them, and they kicked the field goal, and that gave them the 10-7 lead. And of course, you got the missed field goals here and there. And then that epic, tipped one, which, crazy that one happened, because it didn't look like it was tipped, and then they showed the screenshot where it actually hit the dude's finger, and it made the ball actually like turn. But yeah, I mean, there's not really a whole lot of analysis to say about this game. It was a god-awful game, and this is how it always goes, man. Like with the championship games, we always get the one terrible game, and then we get the one good game. Happened last year. Eagles, Commanders, awful. Chiefs, Bills, epic.
Another epic game.
This year,
and I think,
we got the bad game early. So basically, the 3 o'clock game is usually the bad game.
Mark it down for next year. And I like your comparison to, well, not comparison, I guess differences to Nick Foles. I mean, people forget that like 4 years before Nick Foles became the starter for the Eagles and ended up going on that epic playoff run. Like, we had some tape on him. Don't forget, he had a 7-touchdown game in like 2013 that people tend to forget about. So he had some experience coming in. It's not like Jarrett Stidham, who literally is coming in with nothing. So it was asking a lot for him to come in and step up and play at an extremely high level against that Patriots defense. And I will say as well, the running game was not doing him any favors. I mean, they couldn't run the ball at all. They just had to give up at a certain point. But yeah, when you have a quarterback who has no experience and you expect him to come in and throw 30 passes in a game and expect him to win, that's just asking too much. And in those conditions as well, it was just going to be tough. So, kudos to the Patriots for pulling it out. They didn't necessarily play their best game, and I think it's why we kind of agreed when we talked about pre-show what's going to happen in the Super Bowl. But
which we will not reveal yet.
No,
not yet.
I didn't
tune in. Super Bowl Sunday.
Not planning on it. But that's really all I have. It was an offensive struggle and a defensive slugfest basically in this game, and ugly, an ugly game.
Yeah, I don't really have much else to add. I mean, I guess there's not much you can do with a situation where Bo Nix is out and you have to go with a quarterback and Jarrett Stidham in the AFC Championship game. That's tough to do. So, your hands are pretty much tied, and, but again, it wasn't the best game, but the Patriots coming out on top 10-7. I don't know if you saw this too, but yes.
Maybe start taking the points instead of
points.
Yeah.
When you have a
going forward,
going
forward on fourth down every time. I think sometimes analytics
said to go for it there, but you have.
But I don't like that. You take the points.
Knowing that you had that snowstorm coming,
I don't get it.
And knowing that this game was just the way the game was shaping out, that you weren't going to get many opportunities for points. Go for the damn points, man. You have a backup quarterback who hasn't played a game or thrown an NFL pass since 2023.
Yeah. Agreed. That was my final point. Sorry,
this was Sean Payton. This loss solely falls on Sean Payton because
it does. It does.
It was just terrible.
Inexcusable.
Do we feel bad for Denver fans?
Kind of, right? Because
I don't, because I hate Denver, but
it's tough because on the one hand, I think, I do feel bad, right? Like Bo Nix gets you there, and of course we know Bo Nix wasn't an MVP by any standard, but he was playing pretty good ball, and he gets you in that game. And I think, like you said, Carlos, if he plays, I think there's a pretty good chance Denver wins. At least they're able to score one more touchdown, I think, at the very least. So I do kind of feel bad for them that they kind of got left at that situation. But listen, it's the NFL. It's the reason. You play 60 minutes for a reason. At minute 58, obviously Bo Nix got hurt in the divisional round. It's a freak thing. It happens, but yeah, I do kind of feel bad for them because it's kind of brutal. But
so I don't know if you saw this. The Denver Post tweeted on X 9 minutes ago. So, and this is the headline. I'm not sure.
Chronically online like you. Of course, I haven't seen this.
Okay, well, no, I think it's relevant. I should add this.
That's fine, but you're saying, I don't know if you guys saw this. Kirby, I am not on Twitter while we're recording. Unlike you, where you're sitting there on your phone scrolling Twitter while we're talking.
So
while we're analyzing things, you're welcome.
Yeah. Well, the Denver Post came out saying, per Sean Payton, Bo Nix has an ankle condition that made the break inevitable. So,
okay.
So, I'm not sure if that. Yeah, I thought I would add that in there. Just
was that something we really had to know, or
I don't see what did that really contribute to this to this conversation?
He has an ankle condition that may or may not affect him.
But what did it really contribute?
Yeah,
I'm
still
what
lost.
Did we learn? What did that change?
What did we learn?
Yeah.
I guess it didn't really change.
It didn't change jack, is what I'm trying to tell you. Cool, he's got a condition. He broke that. We know he broke it. Like knowing he has a condition doesn't change anything.
That's true.
Well, thanks, Sean Payton, for absolutely no insights.
Yeah, good job.
There you go,
Payton, man.
Well, the Patriots are moving on to Super Bowl 60.
You guys prayed so hard. You guys prayed. Oh, please. Oh, Lamar, save us from the Chiefs. Oh, celebrating the Eagles winning. We're tired of the Chiefs. Well, guess what? Now look what you guys went and did. You got the freaking Patriots back in the Super Bowl.
It's different.
Terrible.
A little bit. That's why I'm rooting for the other team.
Let's talk about the NFC Championship game. We will take a quick break and do that next.
Hey there, Kirby on Sports the Podcast fans. Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate here for you. Remember, if you have any real estate needs, buying or selling, I'm your guy. I would love to help you out. And you can also find me on my own personal podcast, Iconic Talk, where you get a chance to learn about the local real estate market and why Winchester is an amazing place to live. Reach out to me anytime, 540 247-1527 and find Iconic Talk anywhere you get your podcasts.
Bed bugs. The only thing creepier than thinking about them is actually having them. Trust me, you don't want to have them. Locally owned and operated Barrett Pest and Termite Services can keep you from having bed bug nightmares and infestations. Call 540-340-3922 to schedule your free inspection and consultation. If bed bugs are already in your home, we'll get rid of them so you can rest easy. We also specialize in keeping homes and businesses free of other pests, including rodents and termites. That's Barrett Pest and Termite Services, 540-340-3922.
Back in business here on the Kirby on Sports podcast. Dan will be right back, but I'm here with Carlos Martinez. We'll try to stall just a second as Dan had to take care of something very small. But
yeah, I did not realize that he was gone.
Not for long, but once Dan gets back, we're going to talk about an NFC Championship game, which I think you would agree with me was a lot better than the AFC Championship game.
1,000%. It was much better. It was a good game. I mean, in all honesty, it was a lot of people. Oh, there he is. A lot of people were clamoring that this was probably the real Super Bowl because honestly, I just don't see New England beating either of these two teams. Whichever one would have came out. It would have been more interesting with LA because LA's got more holes in their defense, but Seattle's that's a beast of a team right there.
They're a juggernaut.
31-27, the Seahawks over the Rams in a thrilling NFC Championship game. Both quarterbacks with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. Darnold with 346 yards, Stafford with 374 yards, just to paint the picture of how great of a game this was.
Literally the opposite of the other game. It was all offense, pretty much, for the most part, with Seattle's defense and the Rams' defense both making plays occasionally, but yeah, this was a thrilling game, and I'm really glad we topped it off with this game rather than topping it off with the other game for sure. So,
I agree. It was just it was an epic game.
It was perfect. Yeah, it was the perfect end to lead up to the Super Bowl, I think, quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean, just tough for the Rams because I mean they were right there to score and to take the lead, and then to not get it, on 4th down, which I'm not entirely sure what that play was that they were trying to run, because it just didn't work out. It's a heartbreaking loss for them, I imagine. I thought they had a very legitimate shot of winning, but ultimately what costed them was their special teams. And that's what's costed them a lot this season. Their special teams, the one player muffing the punt, falling backwards. Like, what are you doing, dude?
That was a ridiculously terrible play. Just get out of the way. I know you might slip, but you got to take these things into account.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. And it's
a heads down play. Yeah, it's just not.
It was just. I mean, and then they pull him. They pull that guy, and it was number 19. I can't remember his name. And they put in the running back to catch punts because they just needed somebody to just catch.
Xavier Smith. Yeah,
Xavier Smith. It was just it was that was the costly turnover of the game. Because they had stopped them. It felt like LA was getting the momentum there, and then you put Seattle on your own 17-yard line, I think it was, and then they go in and score. And I mean, we got to call out some players. Jackson Smith and Jigba was awesome.
Incredible.
Sam Darnold was surgical.
Yep.
Stafford put on, he did his best. He put on that MVP cape, and does what Stafford does. Puka Nacua just, Puka's really good, man. And, you know,
65 yards.
Devontae Adams, you know, he actually he showed up in this game. He hadn't showed up before in these Seattle games. So there was a lot of great performances on offense. But it's just they couldn't overcome that, you know, that muff punt, and that's what it was going to be. It was going to come down to who was going to make the mistake, and ultimately it ended up being the Rams, and then of course they couldn't convert on that fourth down at the goal line, and then Sam Darnold and the Seahawks just ran out the clock. Because they had 5 minutes left on the clock, I think it was.
Yeah, they ran like pretty much.
And they ran it all the way down, and that was
so 30 seconds ish. Yeah.
Dan, how do you feel knowing that that the guy coaching the Super Bowl used to be your defensive coordinator? We've talked about this before, but how does it make you guys feel worse that you let the heir apparent out of the building?
Yeah, but I think hindsight's 2020. It's a little easier to look back and say, you know, what could have been. Certainly, he's done a fantastic job there and just built a heck of a football team. Not only that, but it's pretty apparent that these players really respond to him really well as well, which obviously that's the most important job for a coach, right, is to get the players to buy in, and he's done a great job of that. Yeah, it hurts. It definitely, that aspect of it hurts, and the fact that obviously we've moved on from our head coach. We were starting over in a way. But I want to point out the play of Sam Darnold. And this is another thing that hurts, that Sam Darnold is the first quarterback from that 2018 class to go to the Super Bowl. Not Baker Mayfield, not Lamar, not Josh Allen. Josh Allen is in that class. Yeah, not Josh Allen. So he goes to the Super Bowl before Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. It's just crazy how the NFL works. But hats off to him. He's had a heck of a journey. We know his story. He's never quit in any situation he's been in. He finally landed, in a good situation or a decent situation in Seattle, where obviously we saw Geno Smith did not work out. They decided to go a different direction and bring in Sam Darnold, and he has been the heart and soul of this offense for sure. And he was about as perfect in this game as you could ask for. This game in general was just a perfect quarterback duel. It kind of took me back to the Brady Manning. Obviously, these two guys are not on this. Stafford, I think, is close to that caliber as far as those two guys. But obviously, Sam Darnold's still in the early part of his career. But what I mean is those playoff battles we used to see between Brady and Manning. This kind of had that type of vibe, I think. Obviously, with Stafford being the.
That's interesting.
That's kind of just the performances of both quarterbacks.
I didn't necessarily get that feel. I felt like as the game was going on, I was like, oh my God, this is epic. It keeps going back and forth. But going into the game, I definitely didn't have that feel, but that's an interesting comp. Yeah,
I didn't go into this game either, but I kind of had that thought throughout. This kind of takes me back to those types of games because they were always, back and forth, score a lot of points. And then obviously one of those teams usually made a mistake late in the game, and it was typically Manning's, whatever team Manning was on. Unfortunately, the Dark Empire rose more often than not. But this was just a great performance by Sam Darnold. He, the pressure was not, the moment was not too big for him. And I Carlos, you called out all the time they ran off at the end in the fourth quarter, 4.5 minutes or something like that. It was just a really, like you said, surgical drive, and I was impressed with the way Sam Darnold just continued to kind of take what the defense was giving him, and also convert a lot of big first downs on that last drive as well. So I can't say enough about his performance, and honestly, Stafford, he was pretty close to perfect as well. Just couldn't make enough plays in this game, and that's usually what the way the dice rolls. So this was just a great game. Both offenses were absurdly good, and it was a lot of fun to watch. It certainly was a wake up from that 3:00 game for sure, and a nice caffeine injection, it felt like, when these two teams were playing. So exciting game. It was a lot of fun. Got to tip my hat to Sam Darnold for all he's accomplished in his career, and he's going to the Super Bowl.
Made it to the Super Bowl before Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. How about that? Who would have known? Who would have guessed?
No one. Absolutely no one.
I love the fact that they ran out the clock, essentially, had to punt it back to Los Angeles, but they had no timeouts, making it nearly impossible to
Pretty much
go
impossible.
down and score too.
Yeah.
And just the way it ended, keeping him in bounds off a catch, and then they just rushed the entire field. That was just the icing on the cake right there. Like, man, what an ending. What a way to end this game.
I don't know about if it was that epic, but sure. if
that's what
people's
I
vote, sure. But I mean, a more exciting ending would have been, if they would have stopped him at the goal line, like Puka Nacua got away, was running towards the goal line or something like that. But
Like an ankle tackle. Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of felt like it was a little anticlimactic ending the game.
The ending was not great. Yeah, it tackled in bounds, and then it looked like he was out of bounds, and it turns out he was.
They definitely tackled, like they definitely stopped his forward momentum, so that's why they kept the clock running.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why I'm of the opinion of you should never use your timeouts in front of the 2-minute warning. I'm of that opinion. You can't help it,
right? Sometimes, like, you just have moments where you're not set.
Sure, but like what the Rams were doing there, they were intentionally using their timeouts ahead of the 2-minute warning. It made no sense.
Yeah, they kind of did.
Just,
you're right.
Just wait until the 2-minute warning, then use your timeouts. That's how I would operate as a coach. That's how I operate on freaking Madden. So I will never use a timeout before a 2-minute warning.
Yeah, and in that situation, if they have a timeout, or best case scenario, 2 timeouts left, then kind of game on. If Stafford's got like a minute and a half or whatever at that point, but it just didn't work out for them. So you kind of have to feel for Matt Stafford a little bit. Obviously, he's got his ring, and so his legacy is what it is. And
most likely, if he's finally going to get an MVP.
Yeah. It's well deserved and well past time.
Even with this loss, I think he played to an MVP standard.
Agreed.
Absolutely. He gave it 110%.
After these championship performances, I would give it to Stafford over Drake May.
Well, it's a regular season award, Kirby. The playoffs don't.
Oh yeah, see that. Yeah, that's right. That's right. No.
We've had this conversation on this podcast before.
I mean, sure. I think this 100% would, if seeing this game, I think it's very clear who the MVP would be. It would definitely be Stafford over Drake May, but
100%. Yeah.
I don't think at this point the votes are already tallied. So
yeah.
It would have just been a better storyline right there. Just the Rams going there. You have both Super Bowl quarterbacks like up for contention for the MVP.
Both MVPs, yeah.
It just made more sense.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed in a way.
But hey, we're getting the rematch from Super Bowl 49 with different faces, obviously.
A chance for redemption for Seattle. Maybe they'll run the ball this time.
I mean, I can tell. I mean, they will. On the 1 yard line, they're giving it to Kenneth Walker. They're not having Darnold throw that.
Here he comes on the field. It's Pete Carroll, and he calls the wrong play, and another
he
turnover.
Calls another pass play. Oh my God, is that Malcolm Butler? He's on the field.
He came out of nowhere.
Oh my!
The secret weapon.
You know the worst part about this game?
What?
Is the ending and the fact that there's only one more game left.
Okay, hold on. You just a second ago were making it seem like the ending was your favorite part of the game, and you were like, it was the icing on the cake. Now we have sat here and said that for us it didn't work. I mean, I was about to make a political joke here. I can't make that joke.
I love the ending, but afterwards you realize there's one more game left.
Yes. It gets
my how time flies. Sure. It feels like just last week we were watching what's the meme saying right now that we were watching Jalen Carter spit on Dak Prescott.
And we were like, whoa.
That was the first play of the season.
Mm-hmm, that's how we opened the season. Oh, and now we're down to just Seattle and New England. God, this season just was terrible. It was just terrible.
It was really
the most inconsistent season I think we've ever been a part of.
It was very bizarre. Yeah.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Maybe next year we're going to get a normal season where things go the way we think they should freaking go. Because, my God, you can just tell by our pick'ems, nothing made sense.
No, don't remind me.
So with that, the Seahawks over the Rams 31-27. When we come back, we'll give you a preview at our Super Bowl pregame show and round out the show. We'll be right back. Are you looking to take the final steps in order to get your driver's license? Look no further. On the Road Driving School offers teen and adult driving, along with classroom sessions for teens and adults, DMV re-exam classes, and driver improvement classes. On the Road Driving School has what you need in order to get on the road. Contact them today at 540-869-6105. That's On the Road Driving School, 540-869-6105. On the Road Driving School will get you on the road.
It's Jason, General Manager at Shenandoah Music, here to tell you all about...
Jay, what are you doing here?
Well, Matt, I'm trying to tell the people about our selection of guitars, basses, keyboards, drum sets.
I know that, but I always do the radio spots.
You get to have all the fun. I want to tell everyone about our huge selection, unbeatable prices, unmatched service, and in-depth knowledge.
Jay, I really don't think now is the time to discuss.
So remember, folks, when you think music, think Shenandoah Music in Winchester.
That's my line.
All right, we are
Is that
back.
your line?
Episode 245 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Dan Dembski, Carlos Martinez. I'm Josh Kirby. This would be the time where we talk about our picks, but we will not do that till the Super Bowl pregame show. We do have standings to go over, and the Super Bowl pick'em. We will talk about that on the Super Bowl pregame show. So I will turn it over to Carlos.
To me. Yes.
Oh,
The pre-Super Bowl standings. Ladies and gentlemen,
I lost.
as you heard from the top of the show and announced on the last episode, we have a winner and a loser officially. And then there's me and Kirby just trying to fight out for the middle parts, which ultimately bear no real consequences. The secret picker has officially won the pick'ems and will be taking Betty away from me. Blue Betty. I will miss you. Which is why they have the belt, the blue belt, on their next to their thing, whatever. So they have won the pick'ems with a 71-48 record. We obviously still have one game to go, but there's no chance that either Kirby or I could catch up. And then Dan, who conveniently skipped out on last week's episode in shame.
Wasn't it, but okay.
Sure.
He has officially claimed the Kirby zone away from Kirby for the first time ever. Josh Kirby will not be last place.
I gotta present it right now. Dan, welcome to the Kirby zone.
Oh my god. I deserve
He
that.
has entered the Kirby zone. We had to make something just for it. Dan, my friend.
I love it, actually.
I just want you to know, Dan, I had nothing to do with this one. I had nothing planned for you. This is all Kirby.
Expect the guy who's chronically online to come through. So thank you, Kirby. Also, I have a question as an aside to this. The Kirby zone stays the Kirby zone unless I lose like two years in a row, right? And I'm like a 3-time loser in a row, or
the Kirby zone
3 or 4 times.
Kirby has lost 4 years in a row. It's the Kirby zone.
Okay,
forever.
Cool. I was
the
just
Kirby
making
zone.
sure it was going to be called the Dembski zone for 1 year or something. So
no, it'll be.
That's
Kirby.
good.
Dan has been crowned the Kirby zone. Very great picture.
Kirby zone.
Thank you, Kirby. That's actually pretty funny. And see how big my forehead is in that picture too. My God.
There you.
My God.
But yeah, so
I didn't realize I had lost by 4 games. I hadn't checked the standings. That's what.
Well, I didn't give you guys an update. I mean, technically speaking, I was supposed to deduct 10 games from Kirby, but I decided to be nice and not do it.
He was very upset.
But so yes, so the only battle going into the Super Bowl is basically between me and Kirby on to who's going to finish in second. I mean, if I didn't bring in the secret picker, we would be battling for first right now. But
That's right.
you stooges just couldn't help yourselves and make it interesting, at the time when I brought the secret picker in. And
I tried. I really did this year. I'm not going to lie to you. But I was wrong a lot of times.
I don't think you did. I don't think any of us gave it our best effort, to be honest.
Well, dude, there were a lot of games that just didn't go the way we expected, though. I mean, that's just kind of how this season went. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So,
Hence
long story short, we now know who the winner is, and it is the secret picker. And everybody's been asking, who is the secret picker? Who's the secret picker? Tune in, because at the Super Bowl pregame show, the identity of the secret picker will be revealed. It is nobody anybody knows. Only I know this person. But when you find out who it is, the results are going to shock you.
It's Carlos. I'm just kidding.
Hilarious. It'd be absolutely
that'd be
hilarious.
the ultimate
picking
bit.
on one side and picking on another side.
Yeah, that'd be the ultimate bit. It's just Carlos.
The ultimate troll job right there. You guys thought you won. You thought you won my reign.
And cuts a sick wrestling promo right there.
No. My reign ended at 1,075 days. I have officially lost the championship. It's okay. We will be back next year. I will reclaim what is rightfully mine. But the secret picker will be with us officially next year, I believe. So.
Oh, yeah? Good.
I mean, they have to defend their title, so.
That's right. That is right.
We'll see if we can get the championship back in-house.
We can fend off the attack, yeah.
Exactly, because they have stolen the crown, ladies and gentlemen. But isn't it hilarious that once again I had to bring the person in to dethrone me? I couldn't rely on you two stooges anymore. 3 years, gentlemen. I gave you 3 years, 3 chances, and you couldn't do it. This person comes in 1 year and does it.
So what does that say about you then?
It says that I got tired of winning, honestly.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Every dynasty's got to come to its end. Roman Reigns lost after 3 years. Yeah, he held the title for 1,116 days.
Yeah,
I held the title for 1,175 days.
And Undertaker's WrestleMania streak. I hear you.
Exactly. We just got to show this picture again, I guess.
All right, put that down. My big-ass forehead is showing in that picture. Thank you.
So, one final time, the secret picker, 71-48. Carlos and myself, 69-51. And
69, dude!
Kirby's zone, 65-55.
That's brutal. At least I'm 10 games above 500. That's a positive.
You were struggling there for a second. It was getting a little dicey whether you were going to finish above 500.
Oh, I know. Like like the week after Thanksgiving.
I think it was going into the playoffs, and then the playoffs you've done very well. So
yeah, but all of us have, so it didn't do me any good.
So with that ends episode 245 with the great pleasure of announcing we will be at Anthony's Pizza for our annual pregame show live stream. So we're looking forward to that. So next time we will be with you is the live stream Super Bowl pregame show at Anthony's Pizza. So again, gentlemen, looking forward to that. One more game left that we can celebrate. It should be a national holiday. The Super Bowl up and coming in 2 weeks.
That was the weirdest ending. Like that was the way you cut yourself off there was really strange. I was waiting for you to say something else, but
yeah,
we get to do this with Dan this year because Dan was gone last year.
Yes, I was working. Yes.
Oh, dude, I can't. I remember. I didn't even remember that. What half the season was without Dan?
Not half the season. It was just the playoffs.
Oh yeah, the playoffs.
Yeah, I was gone for like 5 weeks. Or
that
something.
was
so, yeah. I missed
that was. It was like, I mean, it was a big void that we were like, man, this stinks. Obviously,
that's very nice of you to say. It's very nice of you to say.
No, yeah. I mean, obviously,
I think you're complimenting me.
He is. He's complimenting you. He said that
Okay,
it
good.
sucked not having you. That's what he's trying to say.
No,
That's
then
what
I
I
had,
thought, but
then
I'm
I
just
had to
Eloquent
think,
with his words sometimes.
then I had to think. Wait, I wasn't insulting him there, was I? No, but
No. I didn't think so.
Yeah,
I was just making sure.
obviously, you had other things you had to attend to.
You really know how to
And it
make a
was
girl smile, Kirby. You really do.
but it was just like not having you on. It was like, man, this is really different.
It sucked not being with you guys last year during the playoffs. It was
Look,
one of
we
the
have a
roughest things
great
about it.
balance when it's the three of us because I get to be the villain. When I don't have Dan here and I have to
You
be
have
the,
to
ana-
be
the person
more-
with the analysis,
Moderately themed, yes.
it's tough. It's tough. I can't let my personality show. So
Yeah, that is true.
and you trying to bounce things off of this stooge over here. Mr. Josh Kirby, who just scrolls on his phone while
I was gonna say
you're
he's
talking.
not listening. He's not
It's
listening
brutal.
or
It's
looking.
brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Chronically online, dude. You have an
Thank you.
addiction. We need to have an intervention.
Thank you very much.
That'll be the post Super Bowl episode.
There you go. Thank
Us
you so
sitting
much.
down, us sitting Kirby down in a dark room, like with couches and stuff, and then we
With
read
no lighting,
letters,
no electronics.
letters that we wrote to him about his phone addiction.
This is a great idea. I'm liking this.
Well, with that,
You
our
on your
sponsors.
phone during the podcast. It really hurts my soul. You used to be an insightful person, but now all you do is scroll Twitter and just rot your brain.
Hmm.
Oh man.
All right. So
great.
with that, a huge thanks to our sponsors: Frederick County Parks and Recreation, PM Plus Reserves, Shenandoah Primitives, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, Bear Pest and Termite Services, Mark Lynch with Guild Mortgage, Shenandoah Music, Icon Media, On the Road Driving School, New Look Landscaping, Barry Pearson with Equipment Share Advanced Solutions, and Don't Sleep Energy, the official energy drink of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Use promo code KOS Podcast for 12% off your order every single time. Gentlemen, really looking forward to the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl pregame show, and one last drive for one last game of the NFL season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's crazy we've gotten this far
I know.
like, into the season. Wow.
I know. And you know what else is crazy to close out this show?
Let me guess. Put it up again. Kirby's own picture.
It's
No.
gonna happen.
I am not in the Kirby zone anymore.